Here are my 7.1 predictions for the restaurant industry coming up in 2022, starting with fast casual dining. So I think we're going to see an explosion of both popularity and variety of fast casual venues, to the point that we're going to see an emergence of fine casual dining. Fast casual will start to host more your urban professional crowd getting together for a drink after work, or the youth soccer team getting together after a game. There's going to be a wide variety of micro moments that we're going to want to spend in restaurants. We've already seen that less employees are coming back to the F&B industry, so what you can see is a smaller workforce. So you're going to have fewer staff per outlet, but there's going to be more cross-training. Cross-training is going to be huge all over 2022 as venues try to make do with less. Because you're going to have fewer staff, you're going to have smaller menus, which are going to be more data focused because everything's going to be online, the takeaway, the pickup orders, everything that we've seen so far, everything's going to be more trackable. So that smaller menu is going to change a lot faster. So because we're going to have the data to track these food items, menus need to be able to change quickly. So it's going to be better to have them digital instead of physical. That also goes hand in hand with more and more customers not wanting to touch reusable laminated menus. People are going to want more of a contactless experience when they go out to eat at these fast casual venues. What we need to keep in mind is that it's going to be less about the food, but more about an experience, the experience of going out. That experience needs to be top notch. Restaurant tech. So now that we've all added apps to our digital lineup, now what we can do is collect that data. With enough data, you can start tracking what the customers want, what they don't want, what times they're ordering, where they're ordering from. The bottom 20%, and okay, it's been a month and this is our 2, 3, 4 lowest selling items. Cut, get them out of there. Replace it with something else, test it, keep going, find what they like, find what they don't like, and just keep fine tuning and sharpening that menu till it's exactly what they love to have. At the time of this recording, we have the Leave Home Safe app. So you have to pull out your phone, open the app, camera, scan up the QR code, bloop, bloop, then do the thermometer, bloop, bloop. Can we get those thermometers out in front of us with those stands and just put them door mounted above the wall? There's some places that just scan automatically. Can't we just have that boop and it checks and there's got the green light and the red light? And geofencing exists. There's GPS on the phone, so we can know when a phone has entered a certain area and how long it stays. Okay, this phone is in the building from this time to this time, and then it leaves. No need to get a second app. I'm sure that data could be put together in a way that it's easily retrievable if in case there's an issue that someone would need to reach out to us for. My thoughts. Leave a comment below if you have any ideas on how we can help improve that monitoring system, that check system that we have. And while we're collecting data, there's so many data points we can have sensors for in the restaurant. Temperature controls, lighting controls, sound controls, and even the aroma in the building. You don't need to waste the time of a manager to, oh, the music's off, the music's too loud, let me go stop, do what I'm doing, check, and take care of the service. Let's get an AI to do that. An AI can measure the decibels in the building and raise the volume if it needs to, lower the volume. Judging on the sound, it can change to slower paced music, to fast paced music, to match the energy in the environment. Different scents have an effect on how we eat, how we enjoy experiences. Lighting too, you don't want too harsh of a lighting, you want it to be nice and comfortable coming outside, inside. And artificial intelligence can easily monitor these and change them by the second, really. You don't need to waste the manager's time. Let the manager focus on both the team and the guests, right? So since it's unsure when staff are going to return back to the workforce, I think we're going to see a lot more of these guys in the workforce, robots. Robots are popping up more and more in F&B outlets. There's some out there, like this coffee shop, that are a fully automated unit by themselves. How cool is that? You go to a spot, you order your coffee, for example, and then there's no interaction. It wouldn't be so much if the staff were coming back, but since we don't know when they are, time to be a little innovative. The fall of the POS terminal. Like we said, less and less staff are coming around, and if robots and apps, a steady driver in the modern restaurant, do we really need to pay someone to stand in one location just to take orders? As people move away, contactless payments, QR codes on the tables. But just think what that could mean. You're at a place with your friends, maybe having pizza and beer, and it's time you got to finish the round. Hey, should we do another round? Yeah, let's do another round. You don't have to wait for a server, you don't have to wait. You have to pull out your phone, you have it on your app, or there's a terminal right there on the computer. Tap, 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 click, send, boom. You keep chit-chatting, and all of a sudden, bam, there's your next round. That's the world we live in now. So on top of the QR codes and needing less staff, we are going to see a demand for smaller venues, in addition to the fact that a lot of them are going to be more delivery and takeaway focused. I think it's safe to predict that before, when delivery was 20 to 30% of your total monthly income, and now it's jumped to 60 to 80%, why not just make that focus to delivery and takeaway only? And I think our packaging concerns are going to change when it comes to off-site catering. Like instead of those large trays that we can give into them, they're going to start asking for individually portioned meals that can then be passed out safely without having to share utensils or risk any other additional contamination from other people. And that's if they're having their event on site. Most people are still going to be working from home, but they're going to have group meetings, company-sponsored functions, and all that. So they may be at their homes or in the office at different times, but they'll be logging on at the same time for whatever that function is. Kind of like a group pizza party / marketing meeting, whatever floats your boat. That would give employers the opportunity to then send meal gifts to their staff. These opportunities just weren't readily available back then as they are now. Now we can do it. In this new landscape, we're going to see a lot more direct-to-consumer opportunities than we previously had before. Some places already do things like branded merch, shirts, tote bags, reusable cups, things like that. But as more and more people are going to start using apps and ordering home and ordering takeaway and having it delivered to their home, it's a great opportunity for branded grocery items. Get your signature sauce in a jar. Put together your signature, your house spice blend or your flavored butters, maybe if you're a steakhouse, things like that. Look at your menu, look at your dishes, and see what can be broken up into individual pieces that can then be resold to your fans. Actually, if you do this already, I'd love to hear what you're selling. Leave us a comment below and let us know what you're selling. Remember, you want to provide as many opportunities as you can for your audience to experience your brand. So rather than them coming to your restaurant has to go to them in whatever way it can. Another thing to keep in mind is that while we've been ordering more and more takeout and delivery at home, we've been seeing more and more plastic building up. All the bits of individual packaging that goes into preparing a meal and getting a takeaway. People are noticing it. They are going to start to feel guilty and want to do something about it. Providing more sustainable packaging options that don't require individually wrapped plastic, things that can be easily recycled, that can be easily reused. Obviously, this is going to be a lot nicer, a lot more expensive, but the overall benefit will be huge because for your audience that's ordering on a regular basis, you can then provide like a monthly fee or a flat fee for the packaging, and they send it back somehow. You deliver the food in that reusable packaging, and then we find ways to keep returning it so that you can then do the same. If they leave town or something like that, they can return the packaging and get that feedback from you guys. Or if they take it with them, then they've bought some reusable packaging, even better. But packaging is gonna also be nicer for another reason. Everyone's doing takeout, right? Everyone's doing delivery, so you're gonna stand out. How long is your food gonna continue to be in brown boxes and brown bags? So imagine that real fancy packaging that look very nice. Like this one, take a look at this. This is a pizza company, and that's their pizza box. Got nice matte black, the gold on the inside. It looks fancy. The company behind this one says that when you open that box, it has that same friction as when you're opening your iPhone case. That it automatically makes it a more special experience, right? Now, obviously that's going to cost a lot more, but what's going to happen when the customer gets that at their home and they see that, like, whoa, take a look at that. They take that photo, they're reposting it online, they're tagging you. Next thing you know, you have user-generated content that you can then turn back into your own social media posts. So a good percentage of that packaging, which was just overhead cost, now gets allocated to your marketing budget. It's generating its own content when it gets to the customer. Now that sounds like a win-win, right? I'm sure I don't need to tell you, but we still haven't been traveling a lot. We're still on social media, we're using it quite often. So this is a great opportunity to do some out-of-the-box collaborations with different influencers, and actually in a variety of fields. It doesn't have to be just food and beverage people. Even though that would be your target audience, it doesn't necessarily have to be just F&B influencers. And with that, I also want to discuss the venue itself. We've always been saying, it's all for the gram. We want to make it more Instagrammable, not just in decoration, but I think in design as well. I think we can get rid of these overhead track lights that are right above us, and it just creates a spot. It's pointing right down to the food. It doesn't look nice, Happy birthday, you get a smile, you got the black eyes under your face. All of our fine dining photos look like this when we're taking a photo with our happy birthday plate, huh? So let's get that light out from directly on top of us. Let's move the lights to the side, pointing the table at an angle. It's more flattering on the face, more flattering for the food. So if you have nice lighting, great design, great look at the spot, presentation of the food is still going to be very important. Even though a lot of it's going to be takeaway, it still needs to look nice. So we have the nicer packaging, and we're finding a way to keep our presentation skills up, even though it's getting covered in a box and sent away. Still pretty important. We eat with our eyes first, right? For a lot of the newer generations, they're going to be more focused on social issues. So this is going to be great opportunities for you and your venue to find ways to be more involved with the communities that you're in. It could be food drives, it could be book clubs. Try to be a hub of activity and a resource for your community and any social organizations that might be around in your area. Having your fans see you giving back to the community, it's going to be a big deciding factor in whether they choose you versus your competitors. Just be active and be seen being active. And that's going to make a difference. That's what the young people are going to want to see, because the world's not in the best of shape right now, and the younger people see that. So they want to make sure that they're part of a change, part of the solution. So if you're part of that with them, then they're on your side. All across the board, it doesn't matter the venue. I think there's going to be an increase in demand for plant-based items. Let's face it, we've had a certain something that shall not be named on our minds recently, and we're trying our best not to catch it. People are going to want enjoyable items that are also functional. Like, hey, this will help you keep healthy. Especially those foods focused on immunity support. They're all pretty aware about foods that help you increase your lifespan. Now, I think the buzzword for 2022 is going to be health span. So it's not also about living longer, but about that quality of life that you can enjoy. We're not going to see a total conversion to plant-based eaters. It's going to be more of a plant-curious kind of crowd. They're not going to really want to change who they are fundamentally. They're going to be a bit more focused on, let's say, balance. We'll call it balance. So I'm going to enjoy what I enjoy for lunch, but maybe I'm going to have a healthier dinner. I love to snack. Snacks are going to continue to be an enjoyable part of our daily habits. But rather than just being a bad habit, we're going to see, I think, some indulgent snacks, both naughty and nice at the same time. That's going to be a big revenue opportunity because you have your in-house sales plus your e-commerce, direct-to-consumer sales that you can put that on. Virtual wellness opportunities are pretty popular. Virtual yoga classes and meditation classes that are online. So having food or drink that can supplement those activities is a great way to be part of the community. So I mentioned this one smaller tip. This is the point one I mentioned in the beginning. If you asked me 2 years ago, I wouldn't have said this, but I think now, the way that lifestyles have changed, breakfast. I think offering breakfast is going to be a great opportunity for venues to catch more guests. In the past, if you didn't offer breakfast, but then you did, that's usually a sign that your restaurant's in trouble, because then you're just stretched for resources and labor, and it's a mess. It's more SKUs. But now with people working from home, there's less rush to get to the office if going to the office at all. Now people have the opportunity to enjoy breakfast leisurely with friends before they take care of other activities or before they go to work. Me personally, if I don't have time for breakfast, I'd just rather not do it. That's one meal that I do not rush. I'm not sure who would be in the market for takeaway breakfast options, but in-house breakfast, but put it together nice. Let's give us a nice breakfast. I think that'd be a good opportunity for increased revenue there. So those are my 7 predictions for 2022. On top of those, if you want to check out this video here where I interviewed 2 top-notch bartenders here in Hong Kong about how we can improve the workplace culture, it's worth checking out, huh? No.